You're listening to the Prescribed Films Podcast Network, home to hundreds of hours of free podcast entertainment. The shows on this network all have a common goal, providing you with the best discussions about movies and other forms of entertainment media. The PFPN hopes to fill your earholes with audio joy. Visit our website with links to all the other amazing shows at www.thepfpn.com. Thanks for listening.
It used to be that calling a film a turkey was an insult. Nowadays, there's actually an audience for some of the worst movies ever made.
Baby, you are gonna go broke showing turkeys like these.
Now we're talking turkey.
Gobble, gobble, motherfucker.
It's turkey time. Gobble, gobble.
Welcome, everybody, to another episode of Let's Talk Turkeys. I'm your host, Movie Miss, and today we have a really, really fun one for you. And I'm not going to talk about it alone. So I brought on a three-time champion by now. Please welcome Dave back to the podcast. Hello, sir.
Hello.
So we watched Pumpkinhead from 1989. And I got my little pumpkin snacks here in honor of it.
I should have totally thought of doing that.
Right? I love these little pumpkin mallows that they do just for Halloween.
It's like the candy corn one, isn't it?
Well, see, okay, my husband and I always have this argument. He says it tastes exactly like candy corns. I say it doesn't because I hate candy corn.
I'm like the only person that likes candy corn, apparently.
You might be, you and my nephew. He's like, oh, just send it all to me in a garbage bag. I'll eat it.
It's so good, though.
But I love these damn pumpkins. And if they taste like candy corn, fine, sue me. But I digress. So, the movie.
Now it begins. Deep in the Appalachian Mountains, they say that an act of evil shall never go unpunished. There they tell of a creature who shall come from nowhere, born from the blood of the innocent, to hunt the guilty, and they call it Pumpkinhead. They are strangers here, and what began as harmless fun ended in tragedy. Anger.
Oh, with an accident.
And revenge.
It's what you wanted.
You gonna stop?
He's gotta run his course.
Now the spell has been cast. The terror is loose. The horror is here. Pumpkinhead.
Before we jump in to all the specifics, I just want your overall thoughts, because was this your first time ever seeing it, or how many times have you seen it, and what's your relationship with it?
Used to see it in the video stores a lot, and I don't know if you have any younger viewer or like listeners or whatever, but I don't know if they remember what a video store was, but that was what your parents would go to hang out and
On Friday night, baby, with
Friday night,
Blockbuster and pizza. Yeah.
Oh man, but Blockbuster, Major Video. We had a local one here, Videorama. That's the one I always hit. And you would go into the horror section, and then Pumpkinhead was always there. But I would always pass it over for my guilty pleasure was Critters.
Oh yes.
So I would rent up Critters. So it's like I didn't watch the movie until literally 3 or 4 years ago. I wanted to do like every Halloween season, I watch horror movies all month long, and I wanted to do an 80s theme. So I did everything from Jason
Oh my God,
to
I'm
Freddy
so old.
to all of it. So I did Pumpkinhead, and it was, I freaking loved it. It was like this, it was so bad, it was good. And I mean, of course, Lance Hendrickson is just amazing. He's one of those actors like Jeff Wincott that like anything he does, he's got
Michael
that
Wincott.
Michael Wincott, thank you. Michael Wincott,
Yes.
thank you. From The Crow. I love but that their voices are so distinctive, and so they just play themselves in every movie they're in, and it's brilliant. So it's like I fell in love with this movie.
Well, I'm glad it's in your collection because it is worth having.
Oh, definitely.
So yeah, we had to watch it out of our personal collections because it is not streaming anywhere for free right now. You have to pay for it everywhere, which it doesn't usually happen with these old 80s movies. They're usually out like on Tubi and everywhere.
Yeah, Tubi's like the place to go for old school horror for some reason. I mean, like that, or like if you want to pay for Shudder. Shudder's always got something. I even searched Shudder for it and they didn't have it.
Oh,
But,
really?
yeah, that surprised me. Yeah, because they just put up like Alligator and a bunch of other 80s horror that was like,
Ramon!
yes, Ramon.
In fact, I was going to say, when you mentioned going through the video store and looking at boxes, how did the VHS artwork of Pumpkinhead, they actually didn't shy away like other movies, and they put the monster front and center on the cover of that box. How did that not grab you?
It did grab me. It really did. It was one of those ones where like when I was a kid, I was kind of just starting to get into horror.
Okay.
And so I was kind of more like, oh, I kind of wanted the cutesy horror stuff because, coming off of Gremlins and things like that. And so I kind of wanted just like the fun stuff. And this looked like an actual scary movie.
Cute
it
little
was
critters.
Yeah, it's like it wasn't until I'm like 40 years old, basically, I'm watching this movie and I'm like, okay, this wasn't scary at all. This was just amazing.
It's just pretty rad. I know.
The design of the monster is just so brilliant.
Oh, totally. And we'll talk about that. So let's start at the top with, like I said, 1989, even though it was filmed a year or two earlier, they had trouble with the De Laurentiis company filing bankruptcy and getting distribution for the movie and all that. So it actually came out on videotape 1989. Rated R, 126, an hour, 26 minutes. So it's under that crisp 90-minute mark, which is what I like in my B horror movies.
Yes.
They did a box office surprisingly when they released it, very limited, twice, once in October and once in January. They racked up 4.4 against a 3.5 budget million. So it didn't completely flop for them pre-VHS, which surprised me as well. So Rotten Tomatoes, this surprised me. Critics, 65%. Audience, only 48%.
Really?
People, you're letting me down.
Yeah, usually it's like totally the opposite. It's the critics hate everything and the fans are like, no, shut up. This is a great movie.
Yes, I was stunned by that. So the idea for this, and I don't know if you know this, came from a poem written by Ed Justin. Did you know that?
I did the research on it because I was actually going to say it's kind of funny that it kind of reminded me a little bit of, I know you're a little bit into the comic book culture and stuff, Solomon Grundy from DC Comics, who started as a poem as well and then became this huge character. So I was like, that's kind of cool. That's like they kind of have that little connection there.
It's all connected. So I went and did what you did the research, read the poem, and then we'll get to it, but it's actually in the movie. And then the movie itself was written by Mark Patrick Carducci and Gary Girani. And it's not the best dialogue in the world, but when you watch the film and you see the world these people live in, it makes more sense and it's not so egregious.
It feels a little bit more grounded, where it's like I could picture these characters actually saying what they're saying, because it's not like how big budget horror these days feels so scripted, these pretty people on screen to be saying this stuff, where I like the 80s and 90s and stuff. People felt real. You weren't getting all the beautiful people, so to speak.
You got the people that you would go, well, here you'd have to live in the backwoods of the Ozarks, but you'd go out your front door and you'd see these people.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Walk up to Walmart and then they're like, there's Lance Hendrickson like in line with you. And you're like, holy crap.
Exactly. So directed by Stan Winston, his first directorial project. He was best known for special effects and makeup effects. Most notably, the Jurassic Park movies, at least the first three, The Relic, Lake Placid, Leviathan, Monster Squad, Aliens, Terminator and T2, Edward Scissorhands. I mean, the list goes on and on. Even The Thing, John Carpenter's The Thing. So he did the special effects, and apparently that's how he got the gig, because he told them, I'll do your movie, but I want to direct it also. And they just went, okay.
He's definitely, it feels like it was directed by a special effects guy.
There was something you said you just watched recently, In Search of Darkness. What it's called?
Yes. Yeah, it's a documentary on Shudder about horror in the 80s. And it's like a two-parter. I sat down to watch it thinking it was going to be like a quick, like hour, 2 hour thing. It's almost 4 hours long, each part. It goes really in depth into 80s horror. In fact, there's a lot of stuff I didn't even know existed until that documentary.
Don't you love that? You like got a notepad out, you're like making notes.
Oh yes. Yeah, there's a lot of documentaries on there that are great, taking notes on what I need to watch now.
Exactly. Get like the running list. So, okay, I want to talk about real quick the music in this movie. Richard Stone and Arnie Schultz did the score and the music. And again, with the visual backwoods vibe and setting of the movie, I feel like combined with the music, combined with the way they use the special effects, everything is so effective and everything works.
It kind of reminds me of how they always talk about one of our favorite movies, Jaws, how it's like everything went wrong on Jaws that turned it into the perfect movie. And you could kind of say it's like same thing, like everything that should not have worked on Pumpkinhead blended together to make it such a cult classic that people just love this movie because of all these little details.
Yes, and soundtrack is one of them, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
And then I was doing in the research, I was looking up, it said nominated for 3 awards. And I was like, what? So I had to look into that. Saturn Awards, I think they were. And it didn't win any of the 3 it was nominated for. But the ones that did win, I could understand. It was like Lost Boys, RoboCop, and something else, I forget, beat it that year.
Okay.
Which, that's fine.
That makes sense. Yeah. I mean, Lost Boys.
I think it was best horror picture, something like that.
Okay. So yeah, that makes sense then. That makes sense. I was going to say if it was special effects, then we got an issue there because
I'm pretty sure it was they lost effects to RoboCop. And I was like,
yeah,
I can kind of see that.
Oh yeah. No, RoboCop is definitely one of those movies that broke ground for special effects.
Yes, but for this one, for Pumpkinhead, on the special effects team was Tom Woodruff Jr., and he actually also is playing Pumpkinhead in the costume. Apparently, they had this foam rubber suit. They had to teach him how to walk on stilts, and then they glued him into this costume for up to 8 hours at a time.
That's impressive. I mean, I didn't realize, I guess it kind of makes sense thinking about it now that, yeah, it would be a guy in a suit. But I didn't realize the stilts. I thought that was like animatronics or something. So I had no idea that it was a guy in the suit the whole time.
Yes, if you look at the pictures online, you can see in the costume when he's completely in it where his feet actually are. It's where the knee pieces jut out the back of the monster.
Okay.
That's the feet. And then everything else down, shin to the foot, is stilts.
Wow.
And he had to learn how to walk on those proficiently, obviously.
That's cool because it reminds me a lot of the xenomorph from Aliens. Because I even thought like the design kind of had a similar look.
And with the tail, the way it moved.
With the tail, the head, the kind of like bulging head in a way. It just combined that with a guy in a suit, same thing as Aliens. And okay, it makes sense.
Yeah, I was more mad respect and more impressed after learning all that. I love me some practical effects all day, every day.
I do too. It's like that's like one of the things that I love about these older movies is that what makes them so great are the sets, the practical effects. It's like everything is so digitized these days that it's cool looking, but it doesn't have the same feel. It's like when you see like, okay, you can see the guy in the suit, but it works.
Yes. And to me, it's that sense, even though it's a cheesy, for all intents and purposes, fake rubber suit, when it reaches out and grabs somebody by the neck and you have a close-up shot of that and it's really happening, it's freaky.
It is, and it's kind of cool seeing like if you get like a good design on the monster or a good makeup artist, like they can make the facial expressions and stuff. It just looks more realistic.
Totally. This is a highly effective low budget horror movie. Like 5 stars for me.
Oh yeah. As far as like bad movies go, this is like easily a 5-star.
Yeah. So for this one, top build cast, we have Lance Henriksen, Florence Schaffler, Chance Corbett, who was Laddie in The Lost Boys, by the way.
Oh.
And we have some famous players here. We've got Mayim Bialik as one of the small children in the beginning.
When I was doing the research, I looked that up and I did not realize it was her. And going back to watch it, I could not find her for the life of me.
It was pre-Beaches, so she's really young.
Okay.
We have Dick Warlock, who, if you know that name, if you're a horror fan, he was Michael Myers or the Shape in Halloween's 2 and 3. In 3, he was the robot assassin.
Oh yeah. I've grown to appreciate that movie more, but I try to block it out at times.
I wanted to block it out until we covered it for the show last year, and it's a cult favorite. I can see why.
It is. It's one of those ones you go back and you get better at it.
Yeah, it grows on you. And then, of course, we have Buckflower as Mr. Wallace, and he was a B movie staple and a John Carpenter favorite in the 80s and 90s. And I'm sure he's that guy. Like, as soon as you see him, you're like, oh, I recognize that guy.
It's like the second you say the name, I don't even remember the name. He's one of those people that once I see him, I'm like, okay, I know exactly who it is.
Exactly. Okay, here we go. IMDb plot. After a tragic accident, a man conjures up a towering, vengeful demon called Pumpkinhead to destroy a group of unsuspecting teenagers. I feel like that needs a little tweaking.
A little bit, because I kind of feel like they're not so unsuspecting. They kind of know they pissed him off. So,
and he doesn't conjure it up. The witch does.
That's true. The witch does.
But yeah, okay. Let's dive into this plot, shall we?
Okay, here we go.
We begin with a few seconds of opening credits with a fiery dark color and a bold font, and then bam, title card. I love that.
It's like simplistic. It works. It's like, okay, you know what you're watching, you know what you're getting into.
And then a fire starts to roar up there. We get some more ominous, effective music, and then the rest of the credits roll. Now we open on a family in their cabin in the woods, and it tells us the year 1957, and this is where we get little Laddie from The Lost Boys. He is young Ed Harley, and him and his mom and dad are in the cabin, and there's a guy wanting to get in to their cabin. Help me. And they're like, nope, not coming in.
Nope. They sense the dangers in the air.
Yes. And the poor kid is like, what's going on? And the dad's like getting his gun and he's ready. So the guy decides, okay, they're not going to let me in. He runs off the porch. He gets killed by this creature in a long shot. So for us, the viewer, it looks really fucking cool. So here's this creature holding this guy, and little Ed Harley's watching out the window, and he sees it, the guy get killed. And then we cut now to present day, where we meet grown-up Ed Harley, and that is Lance. Good old Lance.
Such an amazing actor.
Isn't he? He has that look and feel about him where I feel like this movie wouldn't have worked. You cast anybody else but him in the lead role. He's
one of those guys that, like I said, we talked about Michael Wincott, but there's another one that pops in my mind is Christopher Walken. It's the look and the voice, and it's just so distinctive to the genres that they're in.
Yeah, I think of with Lance, I think of Near Dark.
Yes.
And then this role where he like becomes that person.
He really does. It's like I said, you cannot picture anybody else playing these characters because he's so good at it.
So we meet Ed and his little son, who's about, 7 or 8. I'm bad at those things.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out either.
And he gives them credit for being very mature, which we'll talk about in a minute, which is weird. And we meet their dog, Gypsy, played by the performing dog, Mushroom.
Okay, I missed that.
Mushroom was also the dog in Gremlins, apparently.
Really? So they got a big-time dog actor.
They sure did.
He kind of reminded me of Benji a little bit.
Yes. I like that scruffy look, but not in real life. Like, I don't want to clean up after a dog like that.
No, it's like a good dog to visit and play with, but then you go home and you have your own dog.
Like kids.
Exactly.
So, okay, so we meet Ed, his son Billy, and their dog Gypsy, and they are having this. Okay, again, I'm going to just rant about this in this movie. Everything works. We get just enough of him and his son together, we can see the sweetness, the bond, the love, the relationship in 30 seconds of them interacting. His son, they're having breakfast and he gives him this sweet little handmade necklace, a little like a totem of a person or something he made out of twine. And you can tell that they abruptly cut the scene.
Yeah, like they kind of edited it out, like there was more to it, and they kind of cut it down to like just a brief little like snip kind of thing.
Exactly. And then at the end of that sweet little bit, they abruptly cut away to the other main characters, the teenagers in this film. But in that scene, you get just enough, I think, of their relationship to know how much his son means to him and their bond. Were you feeling that way too?
Yeah, I kind of felt like that. And it kind of like think about how you said before of with Winston of like there was moments in the movie where you could see, okay, he's got some talent, like it wasn't fully developed yet. That was one of those things where it's like, okay, he knew, don't show too much, give us just a little bit to kind of bring us into the relationship with the father and son, and then boom, go to the annoying ass teenagers.
Which we're supposed to assume they're like what, 20, this group of kids? I couldn't tell.
I couldn't tell. Half of them looked like they were in their 40s, and then some of them looked like they were in their teens. I mean, the one dude with the curly hair, he looked like he was 40 years old. I was like, there's no way this kid is a teenager.
I know. I want to say that Steve, played by Joel Hoffman. I could be wrong, but he was the guy who played young Clark Kent in the Superman movie with Christopher Reeve.
That's why he looked familiar. Okay.
Yes, my husband had to point that out to me, but you can't really tell because of the crazy curly hair.
Yeah, he does. He looks nothing like Clark Kent there.
So like we said, we cut to these kids. There's with one couple, a guy and a girl, and they're in the car following the truck with everybody else, and they've got their like motocross bikes, I guess. I'm not familiar with that world.
Yeah, like I just call them dirt bikes. That's
dirt
just,
bikes.
I generalize them as dirt bikes.
No, perfect. Dirt bikes. So they've got their dirt bikes, and one's got a camera, and they're on this road trip to a cabin. So we can tell they're kind of doing a vacay kind of deal. So the couple in the car, though, he's driving, he's being an obnoxious dick. And this is Joel, played by John Diaquino, and his girlfriend. And he's like, give me a beer. So she just cracks open a beer and hands it to him while he's driving.
It's one of those things of like, I always feel like in every 80s and 90s horror movie, especially with teenagers, there's always got to be that one character who's a complete dick. And we got him right off the bat with Joel. And then as far as the drinking and driving thing, I always come off with that is just the writers who don't know anything about teenagers and just automatically assume like, oh, teenagers they're going to drink and drive because that's cool to them.
Yeah. How do we make this guy seem reckless? We give him a beer while he's driving. All these old movies, everybody's smoking and drinking. Like that's just the theme. So after we get the intro to all these crazy kids, we cut back to Ed and little Billy opening up their small little country store, Harley and Son Grocery. And you can tell that it was all filmed in California, this movie. So you can tell with this little grocery set that they just found this little shack, or they built this little shack right quick in the middle of like deserty area.
Yeah, because it's like it kind of stands out in like a whole sea of like nothing. And there's this one little shack, and you're like, okay, this is just like of all the rest stops that I've been to in my entire life, I've never seen anything that run down before.
Right? It's bad. It's so tiny. So again, though, we get the cute little brief thing of him teaching his son, how to run the store. They're watering the vegetables and playing with the dog. And it's just like, you can tell like how much his son means to him, which is going to be the catalyst for the whole movie. So it has to work.
No, they did a good job with that. I felt kind of, like you said, touching on trying to make you feel for the relationship between the two of them, but like not doing too much. As much as it worked, it was also kind of hilarious at the same time because he's Lance and everything he does, he's always Lance. And so even him trying to be sweet, it's like Christopher Walken trying to be sweet of like, you just feel this underlying thing of like any moment now he's going to snap and kill the kid.
Not in this film. We get a crazy death scene though. Okay, we'll talk about it. So the road trippers here wind up at Ed Harley's grocery, and he is like eavesdropping as they pull up, and he overhears the asshole Joel, who seems to be like the ringleader of the group, make fun of his son's glasses and tease his little boy as he runs out to greet them. I was like, well, that's that you're not off to a good start here, buddy. Ed doesn't like you guys very much.
No, leave it to Joel to make the first impression. It's like it could have been anybody else and it would have been really sweet and nice, but no, it's got to be Joel. Like, hey, I'm Joel. I'm a dick. I'm gonna make fun of your son.
And his Coke bottle glasses. Fuck you, asshole. Seriously. Like, I wanted him to die. I was rooting for that one, which I think we're supposed to, obviously.
Well, I mean, most of these movies, I think people do root for the killer over the teenagers anyways.
Right? So some of the kids go inside to grab a few groceries, and Joel decides that this is a great time to just unhook his bike and start riding around because he's bored. What? What an insufferable prick.
I mean, like I said, from the moment you saw him, you just instantly hated him. That's one of those things that I love actors and actresses that can pull that off of, like, just from the moment you see them, you're like, okay, I don't like you. You suck. Like you want to meet the actor who played him, who's like, I love you so much because I hate you so much.
He's like, well, great, then I did my job, I guess. So just then, as that's all happening, our local Mr. Wallace, and that's Buck Flowers, and his 5 scruffy youngins, as he calls them. You youngins wait out here. I love him. So one of them, like I mentioned, is Mayim Bialik. I've had to double look.
Yeah, it didn't look like Blossom. I was expecting Blossom, and she wasn't there.
Outside the store, the kids start teasing one of their own, and they're walking around him in a circle and they're chanting. They recite the entire Pumpkinhead poem to taunt the kid that Pumpkinhead's going to get him. And I double checked, and it's the whole poem. It's not super long.
No, it's pretty short. I have it written down here. Keep away from Pumpkinhead unless you're tired of living. His enemies are mostly dead. He's mean and unforgiving. Laugh at him and you're undone, but in some dreadful fashion, vengeance he considers fun and plans it with a passion. Time will not erase or blot a plot that he has brewing. It's when you think that he's forgot, he'll conjure your undoing. Bolted doors and windows barred, guard dogs prowling in the yard, won't protect you in your bed. Nothing will from Pumpkinhead.
I love that.
That is okay. Saying it out loud, it sounds a little bit better when you read it out loud, actually.
Yeah, it flows, and I can see why they took that and ran with it. And it actually is, the movie invokes the image of the poem, I think.
It really does. And I remember researching it where they said the poem doesn't really describe what Pumpkinhead was. And you see that it doesn't. So it doesn't even say that it's a monster or what this thing is. It's just called Pumpkinhead. So I thought they did a great job of taking that and then what they designed for the creature.
Agreed. And we find out later, which I'll just spoil now, spoilers, Pumpkinhead doesn't quite look like a pumpkin. It's because his body is buried in an old cemetery pumpkin patch, which is where he got his name from.
That threw me off in the beginning because I was expecting a creature with a pumpkin head. So when I saw it, I was like, what now?
That's not right. So as they're chanting this, Ed Harley's eavesdropping, and he hears it, and he has a flashback to seeing that man that was killed when he was a child. And then Mr. Wallace and his kids leave, but Ed forgot to get the animal feed for Mr. Wallace up at his house. So he says, oh, no problem, I'll just bring it to you later. So while this is all happening, Joel's brother now also decides he's going to go ahead and hop on a bike and ride also. And then the one girl is going to take their picture because she's a budding photographer.
Just as all teenagers were in the 80s and 90s.
Right? With her old school camera gear and stuff. But, respect, she's trying.
Almost a little nod of, you had the budding reporter and the Clark Kent, little Superman vibe going on there, Lois and Clark.
All this movie needed was Lex Luthor. Okay, so they're riding and doing stunt jumping and showing off. I don't understand why they bother with this, because Ed leaves his son, Lil Billy, who apparently he feels is way mature enough to handle sitting in this store by himself with the dog. I'm going to run up to my house and get the feed, Billy. I'll be right back. You hold down the store. It's like, what?
Yeah, like the teenagers are going to come back and get a 6-pack and Billy's just going to ring it up for him.
The fucking kid is like 3 feet tall. Why are you leaving him alone? So he does. He leaves the kid and the dog. Everybody's riding their bikes. And I don't understand also why they were talking previously, the kids, when they pulled up, about how anxious they were to get to the cabin and get their weekend started. But they're going to stay here and dick around on their bikes? Like, why?
Especially as like the cabin seems to be only like, what, 3 or 4 minutes away from the shack.
Yes, they're like so close, apparently. So now we're going to get the inciting incident for the motion picture. Gypsy runs outside to go crazy and bark at these kids on the dirt bikes. Why he's not tied up when they know he acts out, I don't know. But Lil Billy follows and runs after the dog. Joel's bike comes out of nowhere over the top of this jump. We do get a really cool shot, though, props to the director, from below. So we feel like this bike is coming from super high, and it comes right down. And it's supposed to hit Billy and knock him to the brink of death. Now, first of all, these bikes are nothing. They're like a 10-speed with an extra heavy tire on them. Mm-hmm. How this is going to kill anybody by barely coming down and swiping by.
There's so many issues I have with this whole section of the movie of like, okay, one, when I could have swore when he left, he shut the door. So unless Gypsy walked over and turned the knob and walked out, I don't know how the hell that dog got out of the damn building. So we got that problem. And then, yeah, bike coming down, grazing him, not hitting him, not like, like it should be, the tire hitting the kid in the head and then like a gory scene coming out. No, grazes the kid who gracefully falls to the ground.
and then blinks. I was like, this kid does not know how to play dead.
No, I mean, he looked like he was just napping. Oh, and then like the slow motion of the kids running up, like this is this huge dramatic thing, and the emotional crying. And we're just like, I'm sitting here like the kid's taking a nap. He's not even dead.
The gravitas that the moment is supposed to have, and it just does not. So yeah, for being the inciting incident for what's going to happen, this scene is to me in the whole movie is the worst possible scene that they could have shot for this death. It's so bad. But then we find out, though, apparently this wasn't the kill blow. This just almost put him in death. He's still alive, so the blink isn't so egregious now that we learn he's still alive. They're like, keep him warm, stay with him, and we're going to go get help.
he's barely hanging on by a thread because of that mortal graze.
It's so bad. And if you guys listeners, if you're like, why are they making a big deal out of this? Why are they laughing so much? Trust and believe that you need to go at least watch this scene because we're not wrong.
Yes, just pull it up on YouTube and just that one scene and you'll just see like, oh my Lord, what is this? What the hell?
If you didn't know that this was supposed to be like a big dramatic death scene, catalyst for what happens, you would just think, oh, the bike kind of stunned the kid and scared him and he fell out of the way. No.
No, this is like, oh, he's hanging on. He's just waiting.
So Joel's brother stays with little Billy and everybody else takes off. And Ed comes back and they can't call an ambulance because there's no phone in the store, which fine. Mm-hmm. They all have to go to the cabin to call. So when Ed shows up, credit to Lance, he gives him a look when he picks up little Billy. He shoots him a look like if he could kill him with his eyes, that kid would be dead.
If I was in that kid's position, I would have done pissed myself.
Right?
That was like that great acting of Lance, of that intensity that he has.
That's what I'm saying. You cast anybody else in this, it's not working, but it's believable, even though the kid's acting is terrible. You believe it because of Lance.
He makes it.
So he takes Lil Billy, and you can tell he's not quite dead. Because he takes him back to the cabin, and he's sitting on the bed with him, holding him, and they're having this, sweet moment. Lance is crying. He doesn't, quite understand what happened because he wouldn't stay there long enough for the kid to explain that it was an accident and this is what happened. But What cracks me up is he's holding little Billy and he looks like he's like limp, like gone. And then he just goes, he looks right up at Lance and he goes, Daddy. And then he dies. And it's like, I'm sorry to this child. I'm sure he was a lovely child, but he could not pull that off. The only reason it works for me is because Lance sells it.
Well, yeah, Lance is the whole reason that scene works, because the kid is just, and the kid, I was getting vibes off the kid, like kind of remind me a little bit of Jonathan Lipnicki, and then
Yes!
also a little bit of like Macaulay Culkin from My Girl because of the glasses and
Yes!
stuff. And so I kind of got that vibe.
His face hurts. Yeah, yeah.
Almost expected him to say, Daddy, show me the money.
The human head weighs 8 pounds, Daddy. So now we cut to Joel's brother, who we learn his name is Steve. So Steve gets to the cabin and finds that Joel has locked 2 of their friends in a closet because they want to tell the authorities what happened. And you're like, what the fuck is happening right now?
What's great about it is the fact that like when you learn Joel hadn't, like, this isn't the first time, or like, or before earlier he says, oh, well, there was an accident with me drinking before and hitting somebody. And my initial reaction was like, yeah, that tracks. That you look like the kind of asshole that would have done that a couple of times.
Right? Then it kind of makes sense why they were giving us that bizarre shot of him drinking the beer in the car.
Exactly.
You're like,
it's establishing.
So now we cut to Ed Harley with little Billy's body covered with a blanket in his truck, driving along. He goes to the small little set of a backwoods shanty town on a hillside where the Wallaces live and apparently everybody else. It's so bad.
But it works so well though, because it like fits in. You are definitely getting like old school country vibes off of this terrible looking set.
I was waiting for the music to start playing.
It come out, you got a real pretty mouth.
So he goes ahead and God bless him, even with his dead son, delivers that feed to Mr. Wallace as promised. But then he asks him, you know, you don't have to pay me for the feed. You can pay me with information. Can you tell me where the old woman on the hill lives? Which we find out later is a witch. And he says, oh, I can't help you. I don't know. Sorry. And you need to just go home and bury your son. Like, forget it. You don't want to know her. So Ed leaves, but he gets stopped on the road by Mr. Wallace's oldest son. What was his name? Do you remember what they were calling him?
Oh, I was trying, the whole time you were talking, I was trying to remember. It was like Bunt or something.
Okay. Yes. His name is Bunt, B-U-N-T. I had captioning on and it kept saying Bunt. And I'm like, that's not his name. That's his name. Maybe it's Bud and the captioning person is wrong.
It wouldn't be the first time that's happened.
Right? No, it is Bunt. So Bunt Cake here rolls up on Ed's truck and he's like, for that crisp $10 bill you've got in your hand there, I'm happy to show you where the old witch lives. And we find out the old witch's name is Haggis, like the Scottish delicacy.
That was like the most phoned in name I think they've ever done for a witch. It's like, what the hell, Haggis?
I know, right?
Well,
I mean, latrine from Robin Hood Men in Tights works better than Haggis.
It really does. Like Haggis, it feels like you're playing off the fact that she's an old hag, so we're just gonna call her Haggis.
Right?
It's like, that's like the scene from Grown Ups where David Spade's like, you know, his main insult is like insulting people by saying McGee at the end of it, like Sneezy McGee. Come on, be a little friggin' creative.
But even more egregious than that, in this scene, you can see a reflection of somebody standing in front of the truck on the wrong side, like one of the crew. And I wasn't even looking for it. It just happened. And I was like, what was that? So I back it up and there it is.
I like caught it, but I thought it was part of the movie. I thought it was going to tie into something.
No, it's a crew member. So, okay, eventually now, Ed finds the old witch Haggis and props to the set design, the set decorator.
Oh, beautiful.
Her creepy ass cabin in the woods with the red lighting and all the you wouldn't expect. Yes, you wouldn't
Oh,
expect a witch to live clean. So it's
no.
exactly.
And it's and props to the makeup too, because they made her look old and creepy. I don't even know what the actress actually looks like, but I mean, I can't imagine her looking anything other than that because it just looks so natural.
Yeah, Florence Schaffler as Haggis, and I guess her suit weighed 36 pounds that they had on her, plus her makeup.
Oof,
She did a great job.
brilliant. I mean, yeah, I believed she was an old witch.
And the way she talks, this cracked me up too. Oh my God. So, do you ever watch the Goldbergs?
No, unfortunately, I do not. I have missed out on the Goldbergs.
Okay, well, you're not missing anything now, but early on it was fun. So, okay, so the main character though has this one friend named Dave Kim, and he always calls him by his full name. How you doing, Jeff? How you doing, Dave Kim? Like it's always Dave Kim. Like he never just calls him Dave. That's how I felt in this movie because every time somebody says his name, especially Haggis, it's Ed Harley.
I didn't even catch that.
Let me tell you, Ed Harley, we're gonna do this, Ed Harley. I'm like, you don't have to say his last name every time. If you did a drinking game where every time somebody said his name, you'd be dead, but 45 minutes in.
Oh yeah.
So go ahead.
I'm assuming that's like a Southern thing. That because I like my mom used to watch the show In the Heat of the Night. I want to say a lot of times they would do that. They would always say the old Southern person, always typically a woman, would always say the whole entire name of the person. No matter how
Interesting.
no matter like how long the name was. It could be like 4 names, like Anthony, Jason, Michael, Thomas, and then it's like they're gonna say the whole freaking name.
That's interesting. Okay. So Ed brings little Billy's body inside to Haggis, and she flat out tells him, I don't raise the dead. That is beyond my purview. My pay grade does not allow me to bring the dead back to life. And he says, well, I don't want that. I want revenge against the people that killed him. She says, well, fine, but there's a big price to pay. And he empties his pockets with apparently Lance went and found a lot of his own costume for this. He found all those silver dollars that he gives her in this scene.
Oh.
Very committed, Lance is.
That's impressive. I did not know that. That is actually really cool.
But he empties his pockets with whatever coins he has and stuff. And he's like, this is all I have. And she's like, well, that's not all. There is a bigger price to pay and you'll find out what it is. And he's like, I don't care. Let's do this. So she says, okay, well, we're going to bring back that monster that you remember from childhood. And it's vengeance. And he's going to, avenge your son's death. So the witch says, in order to do this, you need to go dig up that thing in the woods and bring it back to me, and we'll go from there. So Lance goes to the cemetery/pumpkin patch.
Yeah, I was gonna say, it just seems like the weirdest thing. Like no matter where you live, you're just gonna have a cemetery and a pumpkin patch. Like apparently corpses just make the pumpkins grow better.
Fertilizer, right? So he goes and he finds this mound where it's buried up high, and he digs it up. And it looks like a shriveled up little deformed person, basically. It doesn't quite look human, or I don't know. Takes it back to her. Then we cut to Joel's brother, Steve, agreeing to take the fall for the accident. I'll just tell him I did it. And Joel says, no, there were no witnesses except for these idiots.
Joel, oh my Lord, that man was just...
What? Your brother said he'll say he did it. Nobody else can say otherwise. What do you mean no?
He was just so frustrating because it felt like he was such a stereotype asshole character.
I was so furious. And I understand we need the movie to play out, but it was like, don't give me that easy out then. Because why wouldn't you take it, you dumbass?
Exactly. It's like, all he has to do is just take it, movie over. It's very frustrating when the writing gets really good in a bad movie and they start giving you like things that end the movie abruptly.
Yes, an easy out.
Yes. And you're like, okay, that makes sense. Why not just do that?
Exactly. Especially because there were no fucking witnesses but the dog. And I guarantee the dog's not talking.
Well, I don't know. The dog opened the door. So, and obviously he must have been like running the store when everyone left.
All right. So now back at Haggis's place, which sounds like a great sitcom. Welcome to Haggis's place and all the wacky and all the wacky characters. So she cuts Ed Harley's hand, puts his blood with also this filthy, dirty knife He's going to need a tetanus shot, first of all. And this place is so filthy.
I kind of feel like everyone in the whole place doesn't even know what a tetanus shot even is.
Oh my God. Those little kids, I didn't even mention this in the beginning, the Wallace kids, barefoot, potato sack clothing, filthy from head to toe, dirty, which is probably why you couldn't tell which one was Maya and Bialik.
Exactly.
Everybody is so sweaty and grimy.
What's hilarious is I kind of feel like they just played off of the stereotype of what they think hillbillies are. Where it's like somewhere I imagine somewhere like in the Ozarks, there's a hillbilly with like glasses reading Moby Dick, smoking on a pipe right now. He's like, we're nothing like this.
I know, this just perpetuates the stereotype. So the monster comes to life and grows into this 9-foot, 10-foot beast. And I'm going to say again, this is one of those shots that just works because between the lighting, the music, it's just an assault on the eyes in the best possible way.
Everything. It's one of those. It's like what makes the greatest thing about werewolf horror movies is the transformation. Watching the transformation of the person turn into a werewolf, and I thought you got that with this movie of watching this sickly looking, fucked up Muppet basically turn into Pumpkinhead, and the transformation is beautiful. Like I said, the sound effect. I mean, the sound effect of Pumpkinhead himself is awesome. With this, like it sounds like a rattlesnake or something. It is just so cool. I geek out every time I see him show up on screen.
Yes, it's exciting. And the scene is amazing. So he gets created. Ed kind of is, during all this, passing out, in and out. He wakes up. Haggis tells him Pumpkinhead is gone. So Haggis says, you can go now. Your part is done. He drives off not feeling well. You can tell something isn't quite right, but we don't know what yet. He almost hits another truck and swerves. And I'm like, who the hell else is up here driving around?
Yeah, it's like no one else. We've seen basically 4 vehicles the entire movie, and only 2 actually belong to this community. So it's like you kind of feel no one else actually has a vehicle in this community.
Yes, I'm like, is Haggis getting DoorDash? Like, what is happening right now? But he misses that truck and swerves. So then he has this vision of Lil Billy sitting up quickly from under his blanket saying, what'd you do, Daddy? And then he snaps out of it. And I'll tell you what, I guess this is trivia on IMDb, so take it with a grain of salt. But apparently Lance read that scene and went, I'll do your movie. He loved that creepy vibe from this scene.
It was good. It kind of gave me like a reminiscent of Pet Sematary, like
that
when the ghost would show up.
That's in my notes. Pet Sematary vibe. Nailed it. Then they nailed it because we both thought the same fucking thing.
They did, because it's like the dead body coming to life, the ghost thing. It really felt like Pet Sematary.
And the kid 100% delivered this.
He delivered the same way that the delivery was going to Haggis, probably ordered from the House of Grits or something.
From Ed Harley's General Store. Apparently it's the only place around to get food. I don't know. So then we get a quick shot at the cabin. We get Steve telling Joel, you better do the right thing, after Joel turns him down. And he runs out to chase Maggie, his girlfriend, out into the woods. So then we go back to Ed burying Billy near his wife's grave. And then we cut to Steve and Maggie outside again. And you can always tell Pumpkinhead is coming. Like you said, you get that sound effect that sounds like a rattlesnake or insects flying in the air, like a cicada or whatever, however you pronounce it, kind of thing. And I want to say it's a movie from the 70s does locusts or something, kind of a sound effect of like a whole bunch of, I can't think of the movie. But anyway, yeah, there's this really cool sound effect. And then the light starts going like lightning, like flashes, and it gets really windy and shit's about to get real. Oh, yeah. And I like that too. That's a tell. Like we can start to get excited because it's happening. you're getting pumped up because you're waiting. That's one of the things I liked about this movie was that there was no like surprise jump scares. Like everything's quiet and then boom, something happens. It just when shit's about to go down. So you're getting ramped up. Yes. So then he's in a tree. Pumpkinhead is in a fucking tree, which why not? And he pulls Steve up by the head. which just one hand right on the head and grabs him, and it's really fucking gives you a sense of scale, how big this monster is if his hand.
I love that scene because it's like I said, you get the scale and just like the way like Pumpkinhead is looking and the design, and like it kind of makes you forget like the tree thing, because like I said, like Pumpkinhead hanging out in a tree is like, come on, like what is this? Like when did this become the Predator?
Right. So then we understand now, we're starting to finally get it. Ed Harley, we see, kind of has like a psychic connection to the monster because he's getting affected as this is happening.
It's funny, I didn't catch that the first time that I watched it. It was, I think this is like the third or fourth time I've seen it. I kind of picked up on that this time, that there was that psychic connection. I must have just been so excited by Pumpkinhead, I missed it.
I'll tell you though, first couple times I watched this, I was the same. I was like, what is going on? But then you have to remember he got cut and it was his blood that brought it back. So it makes sense that he'd have this weird connection.
Some haggis voodoo.
Oh, I want a donut now. Haggis voodoo donuts on special. Get the Pumpkinhead just in time for fall.
Stuff like that though makes me think that someone really needs to come up with like a horror themed bakery and just like all horror movie themed snack cakes and cookies and all kinds of stuff.
Holy shit. All right, stop talking. I better edit this out because that's our idea. Nobody take it. We're doing it. So, okay. The other thing I wanted to note, and I forgot, is that this movie actually takes place in the span of just a few hours in one night.
This movie doesn't really give you a lot of time to decompress from anything that's happening. It's like from the moment it kicks off, you get like maybe a few moments and then boom, shit hits the fan. And I like that it's like it's constantly going.
Back inside now, Maggie has run back in and tried to tell everybody Steve's being attacked. The guys grab guns and they all go running out looking for Steve. And this is where we get a really effective, quick blink and you'll miss it, creepy shot. The guys are outside with guns. Inside, the three girls are sitting at this table in the kitchen, and we can see the window behind them, and Pumpkinhead just goes right by the window.
Oh,
blink and you miss it.
I think I did miss it several times. I think it was like it took this last watch to be like, okay, I saw that.
And they have the scale, right? Like how much of him you see is how tall he is, and it's so creepy. So back outside, we get Joel and Steve finding the bloody clothes hanging in a tree, or they find Steve's bloody clothes hanging in the tree. And they're like, we got to go find him. Why? You see the bloody clothes? I'm the fuck out of there.
Exactly. It's my whole theory is nothing good happens at a cabin. Cabins are the worst place in the world to be because shit always hits the fan.
Yes. See Evil Dead. See Cabin in the Woods.
Exactly.
So as they're standing there telling the girls at the cabin, we found bloody clothes. What are we going to do? We got to get out of here. All of a sudden, we get this amazing shot of Steve's body falling from the roof, but he falls in such a way that you get to see some of the blood and gore, but it's not too much. So then they're standing there. Maggie's screaming. Maggie gets pulled by the head onto the roof by Pumpkinhead. And then we get a really great shot again of her just going over the back of the roof and she's gone. Really fucking cool.
No, they did a good job of like not giving you too much of Pumpkinhead at a moment. It's like you just get a little bit of like the kill, the snatch and grab, and then you just like, oh, what the hell happened here? Like,
yes, super effective.
Oh, so great.
Really building the tension of like, where is he and when's he going to strike?
Yeah, because you wouldn't picture something like this. Like you first see it like in the opening of the movie, you're thinking, oh, he's just gonna bust in the door, Terminator style, and be like, I'm here to fuck shit up. And like, no, he's going sneaky. He's like ninja Pumpkinhead, pulling like all kinds of sneaky moves and kind of hiding around shit. It like makes it so creepy. I love it.
Oh, that's the other thing I've been wanting to mention, and now's a good time to just throw it out there. Did you realize that Pumpkinhead doesn't make noise? Like he doesn't growl or like go "arr," any of that shit.
No, I actually never caught that because I'm so distracted by the sound effect when he shows up that I never actually heard him.
He doesn't make noise. Yeah. Again, though, really fucking effective.
It's cool because yeah, it's like everything is so like they have to put noise in everything. I mean, Hell, they threw, they made Jaws roar once. And it's like, it's like for some reason Hollywood has to make everything roar and have sound. So it's kind of cool not having any noise. I got to go back and watch it again now.
Yes, because if you think about it, to me, what noise do you attribute to it other than a silly growl? And I think that would take me out of it if he's going, I'm coming after you,
Yeah, no,
I like it.
The silent effect works so much better because otherwise it would have been kind of corny because you're like, oh, okay, he's a typical monster.
So then Ed's connection to Pumpkinhead becomes glaringly obvious here, at least after a couple of views. For me, it wasn't glaringly obvious at first. Because Pumpkinhead carves a cross into Maggie's forehead before he's going to kill her. And we see that Ed can feel it and he knows what's happening. So he runs to Haggis and says, call it off. Stop. This is not what I wanted. And this cracks me up. What did you think was going to happen when you called on a monster from beyond our realm to come and have vengeance? What did you think he was going to do?
I don't know. I mean, this is pre-90s. Maybe he thought it was going to be like an episode of like Candid Camera or something, pull like a little prank. Like I said, like, instead of like being sneaky, he was just going to kick the door down and be like, Roddy Piper, if I'm here to chew bubblegum and kick ass, make them all shit themselves and then be like, gotcha.
Gotcha. Yeah, I'm like, seriously, like, what the fuck did you think was going to happen? But okay. She tells Ed, look, you have to pay the ultimate price. You're linked to this monster. So he says, fine, if I have to kill myself in order to kill this thing, so be it. And he takes off. So back at the cabin now, Joel and his girlfriend watch Pumpkinhead kill Maggie because he pushes her head through a glass window.
Oh, beautiful.
At first watch, you're like, oh, that's kind of just trying to scare us because he's pushing her face against it and her face is moving around. And you're like, that's really her, like her face and stuff. It's not like a puppet head. And then he pushes her through. And for a second, you're like, oh, okay. All of a sudden, blood just starts to come and you're like, oh, she must have glass through her throat.
Oh, so beautiful the way they did that. It's like the gore just builds up.
Yeah. And they don't get cheesy by showing her throat get slit. You know that that's what happened. So good.
It's like, this is one of those movies that just does so well of like not showing you everything, but giving you just the little bits to like let your mind kind of run with it and like, oh, this is really bad.
And as a horror fanatic, somebody who's seen a million movies, my mind immediately pictures like her jugular getting punctured or whatever. Yeah, they didn't need to show it.
Exactly. Yeah, it's like you could tell this was made for like veteran horror fans who can just picture it without having to actually see it.
So Joel grabs this big ass knife, a la Michael Myers, and runs out to confront this creature. It grabs his hand, causing him to drop the knife. And his girlfriend, I don't understand. It takes her into the tree, and I don't know what the object is here. She's alive. He takes her up into the tree. Is it just for theatrical purposes for him to like show them, haha, look, I'm going to kill your friend, because he drops her and she falls all the way down and then lands on, I don't know, a tree stump or whatever, and she's dead. I don't get that. I'm like, is Pumpkinhead like going for theatrics here?
Yeah, that kind of threw me off of like why. Well, it's like he was so creative with his other kills, and this one was just like, I'm getting kind of bored. I'm just going to throw her against a tree.
Yeah, I was like, what was the point? I don't know. So then the three remaining kids run off. Ed Harley shows up and he sees the bodies and then he leaves. So this is like a real quick, this is what's happening scene. We cut back now to the kids running around banging on people's doors in Shantytown. Just like, help, help us. And everyone's like, nope. So the kids then run over to this truck like they're going to steal it, but they get stopped by a man with a gun telling them, get off my land or I'm going to shoot you. And the man has a dog with him, I think. It looked like a wolf to me.
It was a weird, yeah, it did not look like just a hound dog kind of thing. It looked like
I was like, does he have a wild like wolf that hangs out on his property maybe? I don't know.
Maybe setting up for like a spin-off movie.
Pumpkinhead and the Wolf. I'd watch it. The guy's telling him, look, get out of here. I know what's happening with you. Y'all are marked for death, and not in the cool Steven Seagal kind of way. He's like, Pumpkinhead is coming for you. And all of a sudden, Pumpkinhead shows up And it's in all his practical effects glory. We get the full body shot. He's walking up. I am living for it.
Pumpkinhead, the full Monty.
It really is.
It was beautiful. Like I said, it's like you get the sound effects, you get, like I said, the wind, the light. It's just, and finally getting to see. If I remember right, you didn't get to see the full
Not up close.
view of him until up close, because like the closest thing you got of a full body shot was the opening, and then after that you get like little bits of him here and there.
So Ed Harley shows up, starts shooting at the monster. It falls down, and cocky Joel, this dumb motherfucker, goes over to see if it's dead, gets a shot off, and he's like, yep, it's dead. And then we get a really, really good jump scare because we know it's going to happen, and it still gets us because it reaches out and grabs his leg and knocks him down.
Those are the best jump scares too. It's like when you know it's going to happen and it still gets you.
Yes.
Because you're just like, okay, something's going to happen. What is it? And then, oh shit.
And then he takes the shotgun from Joel and rams it through his gut and lifts him in the air in a glorious long shot. We get to see it. Practical effects to heaven, I'm telling you.
Oh, that was great. The only thing that would have been better is if it would have been like an action movie and he's using Joel as a human shield while he's shooting the shotgun.
Cock it while it's like in his body.
Just bam, bam, like some Schwarzenegger shit, just like killing everyone.
It was in a Schwarzenegger movie. I swear to God, I've seen that.
It sounds familiar.
Where the shotgun is in somebody's body and they cock it and fire it anyway.
I need to find that.
I know, right? I know I've seen it. But anyway, it's very amusing here that he just lifts him in the air. It's great. It's like, yes, finally, this asshole gets what's coming to him.
It was like the most satisfying death of the entire movie. Everyone else, like, I didn't care if they died. I didn't like, well, I wasn't upset, but I wasn't cheering.
Hey.
With him, I was like, yes. I think I did a backflip.
Don't hurt yourself. I don't get upset when anybody dies if they're human. I was happy the dog lived. That's all I care about.
Yeah. That's the only time that bothers me is like, don't kill dogs or cats or anything else in the movies. Is like, leave those alone.
Tomato. I'm okay if a cat gets it. Cemetery. I'm living for that. That's good.
I'm okay if the cat comes back and becomes a badass.
Oh, there you go. Hey, maybe that's why I like Pet Cemetery too, because the dog does that.
True. The dog scared the shit out of me in that movie.
Oh, yes. So, all right. So while this is all going down, the last two remaining kids take off. Splitsville, they're out of here. Ed Harley, during all this, gets attacked by this wolf, ? Dog thing. And it's tugging on his arm. And this is where, if you haven't got it by now, you really are going to get it slapped in your face. Like they're psychically connected because Pumpkinhead starts moving his arm like he's being attacked. So now the two kids have run up to Mr. Wallace's place, and they, of course, do not let them in. Wallace tells his family, stay here. You and the animals are safe. The monster doesn't want us. It only wants what it was called to kill. So don't get involved. Mind your business. Good policy.
Yes.
So then the oldest son, Bunt, I can't get over that that's his name. So he says he's going to bed, but instead he sneaks out to try and find those kids to help them, but also wants to see if the monster is real for himself.
Always a selfish reason. Always has to be a little bit. It can't just be pure generous of like, oh, I'm just going to be a good Samaritan and help. It's like, no, I want to see if this is a real monster.
So outside, the Wallace boy finds them and says, hey, let's go somewhere safe where we can talk. And they run off. Cut to Ed Harley pulling the gun out of Joel's body. Yes, please.
Oh, beautiful.
But again, Lance delivering 110% when he didn't need to. He emotes so much sadness and remorse on his face. Like you can tell he's genuinely sad that they're dying. But then again, I'm like, but what did you think?
Yeah. It's that buyer's remorse. It's like, all right, come on. You kind of had to know.
So now the Wallace boy, Bunt Cake, takes the kids to what is left. And I love this because you know they built this from scratch and it's not much. What's left of a church, kind of in a cemetery. And it's like the front, you can still see the cross cut out and then it's just a few boards. Like there's barely any walls left.
Really did an amazing job on that because, like you said, it's so minimal, but it does deliver such a creepy vibe for like what you assume is going to be the final showdown of the movie.
Yes, agreed. So they're in this church, and he's telling them the monster is after you. I've heard about him. He's a demon. His name is Pumpkinhead, and he tells them all about, the legend and everything, and that he thought it was just a legend until right now when he got to see Pumpkinhead. They figure out, finally, that the whole reason Pumpkinhead is after them is because they killed Billy. That's why this is happening. I argue none of them did kill Billy. It was just Joel.
Yeah, that kind of bothered me a little bit too, because I thought like, well, I mean, okay, I can understand the father does not know this. Ed doesn't have an idea as to who's responsible, but you feel like a creature like Pumpkinhead is going to have more information than just what's being told to him. Like this is a demon presence of some kind.
Right?
It's going to know everything that's going on.
Right. You think he would know. So just then, though, when they're talking about all this and they're like, oh, God, okay, it's all our fault. We get the money shot of the movie, in my opinion. Pumpkinhead in the doorway of the church. I paused it because I was like, oh.
It's such a beautiful shot. It's like the cover of the, I'm not gonna say the DVD because I think the DVD changed the cover, but like when the video cassette was out, it reminded me of that cover of just that glorious, beautiful shot of Pumpkinhead. And you just say, oh, like this is such a beautiful looking monster.
And you don't get that with CGI, folks. Sorry about it.
No.
So then the kids see this and go, oh my God, we better run. And they run. And then we get this amazing, I'm going to just gush about this fucking movie, folks. This amazing tracking shot from the side of Pumpkinhead making his way practically through this set from one end to the other. I was in heaven watching this movie.
It's a beautiful shot because like you said, it's like, especially now knowing that it wasn't that it was a guy in a suit, because like I said, I thought it was animatronics, but now it's like, okay, so a guy in a suit on stilts doing this without falling and busting his ass is very impressive.
Yes. And then you add the sound effects because it's Pumpkinhead's theme music that he's there, the lighting, the set design, like everything fucking works.
It's
We cut now to Ed Harley showing up at Wallace's cabin and asking for help in killing the creature. And they say nope and send him on his way.
Southern hospitality.
But you know what? You know damn straight, you the Wallaces, you're going, nope.
But you could have at least, like, hey, sorry, we can't help you. Here's some, sweet tea and a, piece of peach pie or something.
You're going to need your appetite for some killing. So the kids now go to an abandoned trashed car / junkyard situation.
Yeah, I couldn't figure out what that was. That's kind of what I took it as, like a junkyard of some kind, or
I don't know. I was getting like Wrong Turn vibes from it.
Yeah.
So Pumpkinhead appears and tosses the dude, let's see, Chris, while on the motorbike. And I legit watched it like 4 times, kept backing it up because I couldn't stop giggling. It's a dummy or a stunt man, I don't know, but he's on the bike and he just goes, woo, bam, like through the air and down. Pumpkinhead just chucks his ass, bike and all.
Oh, they needed like some cartoon sound effects just specifically for that scene.
It's glorious. Yeah. So the Wallace boy takes the girl and they run off and they bump into Ed Harley and he's like, get in my truck. And they get in and drive away. Then we get a quick cut of Pumpkinhead dragging Chris's body through the woods. Then we cut back to Ed and the Wallace boy and the girl that's left, the final girl. And I want to say that's Tracy, Cynthia Bain. Yeah, Tracy's the final girl. Okay, so the Wallace boy, Bunt Cake, Tracy, and Ed Harley. The girl says, it was an accident. We didn't mean to kill Billy. Please call this monster off. And Ed says, I can't. Sorry about it. But he does fire up his flamethrower because they're at Ed Harley's place now and he's out in his barn. He gets this shit all fired up and all I could think was like an alien.
Yes. I was really looking forward to like a big flamethrower versus Pumpkinhead fight scene.
I know. And then it's all wah-wah. We don't get that. Because he fires up the flamethrower and we're like, ooh, here it comes. He says, I'm gonna send it back to where it came from. And you're like,
Yes, this is the big battle we're looking for.
yes, the slam bang finish. It's happening. So now we're in the finale where we're full steam ahead. Pumpkinhead shows up outside the barn area and he ends up going into the cabin and Buntcake is hiding in the closet. Gypsy the dog. I was so excited they showed this. I was like, you didn't have to, Mr. Winston, but thank you for doing it. They showed Gypsy the dog hiding in Billy's trunk and you just see his little eyes and head like the yeah, the dog lives. So he sees, actually, he moves some stuff around in the closet and he sees Bunt is in there, but he knows he's not there to kill him necessarily, I guess, and grabs him and is going to drag him out of the cabin. And then we cut to outside and Chris, very injured from this bike fall that he had, comes. I can't even talk because I'm picturing him flying through the air on his bike. It's so stupid. Okay, so he crawls up and he says to his girlfriend, to Tracy, let's do something. I'm here. Pumpkinhead comes outside. He drops the Wallace boy because he knows he's not there to kill him. Ed Harley's coming out of the barn, flamethrower, and he accidentally catches his arm on a pitchfork that's hanging right on the side of the door. And you see the psychic connection because Pumpkinhead's like, oh, and he moves his arm. So that disconnected, I guess, the hose on the flamethrower or something when that happened. So wah, no flamethrower battle.
And like, that's okay, Lance. It happens to everybody.
So Pumpkinhead and Ed Harley in this moment now, when this is happening, lock eyes. And we see that Ed's eyes have actually changed. And they look monstrous, like contacts or something, but they look creepy. Mm-hmm. And then we get a close-up of Pumpkinhead, and he actually grins and like smirks, like they're having this vibe, and he's like, haha, Ed, I'm you and you're me.
You're sharing a moment. What was cool about that scene, though, was I never caught it before. It almost looked like they kind of designed the creature's face to look a little bit like Lance, because it really did kind of like there was a resemblance there. And I was like, oh shit, I didn't catch that the first time. Like, okay, that's really clever.
100% agree with you. In that moment, you really can see it. So now the girl grabs the flamethrower and uses it, but he grabs her by the throat. I was like, yes, kill the bitch. She's not a dog, kill her. We see Ed run to his truck over on the side there. Pumpkinhead drops the girl when he hears a gunshot. And then we see Ed stumble over, fall to the ground with a revolver falling out of his hand and a gunshot wound to his head. Cut to Pinhead.
Okay.
Cut to Pumpkin. As I got Hellraiser on the brain. See, I just watched it, the new one.
Oh, I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah.
We'll discuss after.
Right, exactly. Yeah, go watch it and we'll chat. So anyway, okay, cut to Pumpkinhead falling down, also sporting a little gunshot wound to the head. But Ed isn't quite dead because Pumpkinhead gets up and grabs Buntcake. The girl grabs the gun. Ed jumps up looking a little monstrous now, even more with a little bit of prosthetics and makeup, which I really appreciated, like he's morphing.
Yes.
And he says to the girl, to Tracy, shoot me. He's figured out if he dies, Pumpkinhead dies. So shoot me. She shoots him 3 times. He falls over dead. And then, of course, so does Pumpkinhead. Now, this is a stupid thing to nitpick. But again, like with Billy in the scene when he supposedly is killed by the bike or whatever. When Lance falls to the ground, she shoots him 3 times. And he does his little classic death scene. And his eyes are open, dead people. And then, and he closes them with that last gasp of breath. We immediately do a cut shot of a long shot of everybody, and we're going to slowly pull away as our final shot. And Lance is laying there with his eyes wide open. I was like, he just closed them and did his last gasp of air. That's a continuity error. Shame on you, editor.
They should have fixed that. I mean, or at least maybe do a shot of like, okay, his eyes randomly open again. Like, okay, well, maybe he's not dead.
He's only mostly dead.
I mean, because Lord knows, obviously, he survived the gunshot to the head, like most people seem to do in these movies of like, oh, I got shot in the head. I'm just going to walk it off. Take some Tylenol. I'll be good.
Well, he wasn't like 50 Cent. He didn't get shot 9 times.
No, he just got shot 4 times.
Serious.
The
But I just
head.
laughed. The continuity there just made me laugh. I was like, oh, editor, you're really sleeping on this one.
You kind of wonder if that was the best shot, what were the other shots that they just like, no, we can't use that one.
Right? Where he's moving around, having a
Yeah.
smoke break,
He's laying there dead, scratching himself. Like, oh, we can't do that one. That's not good.
You're dead, Lance. You're dead. I know you have dirt in your face, but stop. So then we cut to this shot. Pumpkinhead spontaneously bursts into flames, as a demon will do. And then we cut to, as it pulls away, like I said, a nice long shot, which I appreciate. But then we cut to Haggis putting a small, shriveled up body, which we are supposed to assume is Ed Harley because he's still wearing the necklace that his little boy gave him. She buries him in this hole at the top of this mound in this pumpkin patch. And I guess it's because his body is going to be the next Pumpkinhead. It took me 4 viewings to figure out that wasn't Billy, that was Ed Harley.
I just now figured it out when you told me that's what it was. I mean, I assumed it was just the charred remains of Pumpkinhead that they were putting in there. Like he shriveled back up to his, Muppet state.
No, it's Ed Harley's body. So she buries it. We zoom in on the necklace. And that's when I was like, oh, got it.
Now it makes sense.
So then fade to black, roll credits, the end. And that's Pumpkinhead, y'all.
A staple for 80s horror movies. Pumpkinhead is like in the list. You have to watch Pumpkinhead.
So as per what I like to do, I've got 3 questions for you.
Okay.
Question 1. Did you see any of the 3 sequels? And if so, what are your thoughts?
I have not seen the 3 sequels. I actually do want to see them though.
Did you know there were 3?
I didn't. I knew there was the Pumpkinhead 2, and then I thought there were other ones, but I didn't know until I was like looking to watch this one that I found the other ones on there. Apparently, they were TV movies or something. Somebody said they weren't they weren't even direct to video.
So let me give you the rundown, a little bit of info, and then I want to get your thoughts. Okay.
Okay.
The direct sequel was a couple years later, 1995. It was a direct to video called Pumpkinhead 2 Blood Wings, like wings, like flapping your wings.
Oh, Lord.
So I was like, blood wings. I wonder what's Pumpkinhead gonna fly? So I checked this one out. I was like, okay, it stars Amy Dolenz and Soleil Moon Frye. I was like, okay, I recognize those names from the 80s. Andrew Robinson, who was the dad in the original Hellraiser.
Okay.
I was like, these are some recognizable horror cred. Kane Hodder gets a fun little cameo as a hillbilly.
Gotta have Kane Hodder in it.
So I was like, okay, I'm going to check this one out. So the best scene in the whole movie, you get nobody from the same special effects team that I could tell in any more of these Pumpkinhead movies. But it seems like they used the same costume from the first one or very similar.
Okay.
All practical effects. It's kind of a lame story. And the Blood Wings refers to a group of kids who were called the Red Wings. They were like a 1950s hot rod or Hot Wheel car club at their high school. And they had red wings on their jackets. So that's what that refers to, because they kill a little boy. And I guess that's the blood referring to them, the Blood Wings. The little boy becomes Pumpkinhead. He's like a deformed outcast that they beat up and kill. So it's kind of a lame premise to bring back Pumpkinhead, but they do. And the Pumpkinhead itself looks great. The thing though that had me rolling, and it's worth a watch, if not just for this scene, it's in the Kane Hodder death scene. Okay, so maybe you can find this on YouTube. One of the hillbillies gets hit or hurt by Pumpkinhead and his face falls into a chicken coop and his eyes get pecked out by the chickens.
Oh, Lord.
So you have to watch just that. That's amazing.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah, I gotta see that now.
But the movie itself as a whole, not good.
I kind of had a feeling they weren't going to be able to follow up. I mean, like the original is good for what it is, but it's not one of those movies that you can see becoming a huge franchise. It's going to be like an amazing, like every movie is going to be, oh, this is really good.
So then somebody decided we need to get on this Pumpkinhead IP. I don't know if it's because the rights to him or something were going to run out and they had to make a movie real quick to keep the rights. I don't know why, but we fast forward now to 2006 and 2007. They shot these back to back for the Sci-Fi Channel.
Oh,
If that tells you anything.
just say sci-fi alone and you know you're in for like a craptastic evening.
I mean, it's no House Shark, but we have Ashes to Ashes and Blood Feud are the subtitles to these Pumpkinheads 3 and 4. Now you can tell they filmed them back to back because they brought back Lance as the ghost of Ed Harley.
Oh, Lord.
He's guiding, he's warning, he's advising the characters what can happen, yada, yada. It's fun, if nothing else, to see him. Doug Bradley, who's Pinhead in the original Hellraiser movies, is the star of the third one, of the first Ashes to Ashes. It's fun to watch that one because the CG is terrible, but they use it sparingly. There is still a whole bunch of practical effects. So it's not awful. Do you think you might check that one out?
Yeah, I would check it out if I can find it. I think it's streaming free on Tubi, so I could definitely check it out. I mean, they've sold me on Pumpkinhead. Just the whole idea itself is cool enough that I will check it out. I sit through bad crap all the time. So
well, the one they filmed back to back with it is my least favorite of the four. The last one, called Blood Feud, and it's because they try to tack the Pumpkinhead story onto the Hatfields and the McCoys.
oh yeah, that sounds like a crappy idea.
So yeah, it doesn't really work, but we get the Lance cameo again. Like I said, we get sparing CG, still lots of practical effects. The best part, however, of this turd is when somebody's getting ready to shoot Pumpkinhead in the face, he says, "Smile, you son of a bitch."
Oh,
awesome, right?
that alone is worth trying to watch the movie just to see that scene.
Okay, so are you feeling like you might check these out just to
Yeah.
see what's what?
Oh yeah, I'll definitely have to make a day of watching those.
That's what I did yesterday, is I just watched them all back to back. I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna check them out because I've never seen any of them. Okay, question 2. If you could update, somebody says, Dave, I want you to sit down and take some time and think about this. I want you to update our Pumpkinhead story. What would you do? Does it have to be a backwoods hillbilly legend type of tale, or do you think it'd work in a modern setting somehow? Because the sequels all keep it old school feeling. There's nothing real modern about them.
I don't know. I mean, actually, that's interesting because I've been thinking about it because apparently there is a Pumpkinhead reboot in the works.
Shut the door.
I saw it on Wikipedia. It is coming back. I don't know if it's going to be a reboot of the original story or what they're going to do, but it did kind of get me thinking what would be kind of cool for another Pumpkinhead.
Right. Like, how do you modernize it?
I'm not gonna lie, to me it seems like with these franchises, when you get to the point that you're putting out crap after crap, and I'm going to apologize to anyone ahead of time who has seen Halloween Ends and liked it. I did not, but it's officially...
Opinions are like assholes. Everybody's got one and they're all okay.
Exactly. I've officially kind of come to the conclusion that I would like to see now a Pumpkinhead versus Michael Myers crossover.
Neither of them talk. That could be exciting.
And just for the poster alone of seeing the Halloween pumpkin and then Pumpkinhead, I mean, like, that's just, the poster would just be brilliant. But yes, I think a modern uptake could be intriguing, of keep it old school for the backstory, but then
like shoot it rural so it feels like these movies, like very old worldy.
Yeah, like you can even have it be begins in the backwoods kind of area with bring Haggis back, and then whatever happens, boy dies, someone dies, Pumpkinhead's coming back, and then let's bring it into the modern age of, instead of being in the backwoods area, Pumpkinhead in New York or something, or Pumpkinhead in San Francisco. See, like, what is this creature going to do in a modern setting?
And we set it at Halloween so that it doesn't seem fishy.
Yes. You could actually even do like a haunted theme park kind of thing. So it's like the Halloween nights at Disney kind of thing. And you always see the creatures walking around. So it's like people are just thinking this is part of the atmosphere.
And because he's always on a mission for whoever is marked for death, not the good kind like Steven Seagal, He wouldn't be randomly willy-nilly killing people, so nobody would suspect.
It'd be great. Oh, and then you could have that great scene of like the group of girls just like geeking out and taking selfies with Pumpkinhead.
That would be amazing.
Pumpkinhead in the background smiling, giving the little thumbs up with the girls.
Hollywood, write this movie. Just don't let David Gordon Green do it.
Yeah, he's not allowed to touch anything anymore.
Well, that's a conversation for another day because he's rebooting the Exorcist franchise.
Yes, I saw that.
So we're not going to talk about that here because I have a lot of tears to shed over that. That is my beloved, precious horror franchise. So, okay. Question 3.
All right.
You ready?
Yes.
We are going to play Marry, Fuck, Kill. Tracy, our final girl, Ed Harley, and Haggis. Marry, fuck, kill. There's no wrong answer.
I feel like there is at this point. You know, I'm gonna marry Ed because he seems like a very good provider. He will take care of me. He will protect me, and if I die, he's going to seek vengeance for me. I appreciate that. That's really good. I wouldn't fuck Haggis with Haggis's dick.
So she's the kill.
She's the kill. I'm sorry to the actress. She's probably a lovely woman, but as far as the character goes, no, I don't need that kind of dick rot.
Because you know they don't believe in tetanus out there anyway.
No.
So you're fucking Tracy, you're killing Haggis, and you're marrying Ed Harley.
Yes, that's what I'm gonna go with.
Okay, so I have to say we have the same answer. Because even though I don't swing that way, in this, circle of people here, I'm fucking Tracy.
She seems like she would be very comfortable to be with.
Right? And she can handle a flamethrower, so.
Exactly.
Killing Haggis. Yeah, I don't even want to go there.
No.
And I'm marrying Ed Harley because, like you said, free sweet potatoes. He's got the grocery store. He's providing. Seems like a caring guy.
He does. He's got a very smart dog that apparently knows how to run a convenience store, open doors, hide in closed trunks and everything. I mean, this is an incredible dog.
Paws like a velociraptor, I'll tell you. You're not wrong. All right. Well, that's legit. That's exactly my answer. So there we go. All right. That is going to wrap up this rambunctious discussion on 1989's Pumpkinhead, a classic among B movies that you all need to see if you haven't.
Definitely a must-see.
So I want to thank you, Dave, for joining me today. I hope this was fun for you.
Oh, I love it.
All right, everybody. If you want to watch Pumpkinhead, it is very hard to find right now, but you can pay for it on Amazon Prime at the time of this recording. And on that note, until next time, goodbye. And goodbye to you, Ed Harley. Hey listeners, Movie Miss here. Listen, I know you have a lot of options when it comes to podcasts, so thank you for listening to the show. I know everybody says this, but for a fledgling little show like ours that's just hanging on, we just finished season 4, we're rolling into season 5, it would really help us if you could subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify, Apple, YouTube, Good Pods. We're also on Pandora, Audible, Amazon Music. It would really help us grow the show and reach more people if you could subscribe and then rate and review, which is really the key part of it. Make sure to be part of our bad movie conversation by following us on social media. Interact with me on social media. I'm on Instagram at Movie Miss, which is movie_miss. The show is on Instagram at Let's Talk Turkeys. Also on Blue Sky at Let's Talk Turkeys and Facebook. We're on X. I'm honestly not sure how much longer I'm going to have the show on there, but currently the handle is at Gobble Podcast. Get it? Gobble, 'cause like a turkey. You can also chat with like-minded bad movie lovers in our Facebook discussion group. And like I mentioned, we're rolling into season 5. It is 2025. The show, it's been a wild ride, still going strong. So if you have a movie that you would like to hear covered on the show, let me know by emailing direct at letstalkturkeys, all one word, at yahoo.com. Also, hit me up on socials if you want to be a guest on the show. Always looking for guests. I can assign you a movie, something we think is fun, or you can bring a movie. that you think is a bad movie, if it has a low Rotten Tomatoes score, or you just really don't like the movie, but you like to talk about it, that's half the fun, I think. Again, this goes without saying, but I'm going to say it. Without you, the show wouldn't still be kicking around. So thank you so much for hanging in there with us.
I'll be back.
Get the fuck out of here! No, I cannot.
Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Why don't you get the fuck out of here? Well, get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here. Get the fuck out of here.
You're still here? It's over. Go home. Go.